The system does not want you strong. It wants you weak. Not because it hates you, because weak is predictable. Weak is manageable. Weak consumes, obeys, and does not ask questions. Strong asks why. Strong challenges. Strong builds things the system cannot control. And the system cannot survive strong people. So it has built an invisible architecture designed to keep you weak. And you've been living inside it your whole life. Pattern interrupt. Your weakness is not a failure. It is a feature of a system, not of you. Let me show you the architecture. Every day, you are fed a diet of fear. News that makes you anxious. Entertainment that numbs you. Advertising that makes you feel inadequate. Social media that makes you compare your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. This is not random. This is engineering. Fear makes you dependent. Inadequate makes you consume. Anxious makes you seek relief. And relief is sold by the same hands that manufacture the fear. The problem and the solution come from the same source. And you have never once looked at the transaction and said, wait. Napoleon Hill understood this. He wrote about the hypnotic rhythm of the masses, the daily repetition of the same ideas until they become your own. You're not born believing you are weak. You're taught. In school, where you learn to obey authority. At work, where you learn to trade your time for a number. At home, where you learn that safety is more important than freedom. The system does not need to force you. It only needs to shape you. Slowly, gently, invisibly, until you believe that the cage is normal, that the limits are natural, that your smallness is just who you are. But your smallness is not who you are. Your smallness is what they needed you to become. Pattern interrupt. The limits you feel are not real. They are installed, and installed things can be uninstalled. Here is what the system fears most. A person who thinks for themselves. A person who questions the narrative. A person who sits in silence and listens to their own voice instead of the chorus of conditioned noise. That person is dangerous. Not because they will start a revolution, because they will stop participating in the one that is already happening. The revolution of distraction. The revolution of consumption. The revolution of slow, comfortable death. The system needs you distracted, because a distracted person does not notice the walls. A distracted person does not ask if there is more. A distracted person scrolls and consumes and forgets and dies without ever having lived. You have been distracted for years. By design, look at your life. Not the life you post about. The life you actually live. How much of it is chosen? How much of it is just the path of least resistance? How much of it is you? And how much of it is the program running while you scroll? The program is not yours. The program was written by people who do not know you and do not care about you. They care about one thing, your attention, because your attention is the raw material of their wealth. Every time you give them your attention, you are funding your own weakness. You are paying for the walls of your cage, with the only currency that matters, your time, your focus, your life. Napoleon Hill wrote that the most powerful force in human psychology is the mastermind, the alignment of conscious minds toward shared purpose. The system has its own mastermind, not a conspiracy, an emergent intelligence, the collective result of millions of individual choices, each optimized for one outcome. Your compliance. You're not a victim of a conspiracy. You are a participant in a system, and you can stop participating, not by moving to a cabin in the woods, not by smashing your screens, by reclaiming your attention, one moment at a time. The next time you reach for your phone, pause. Ask why. What am I avoiding? What am I afraid to feel? What would happen if I sat in this silence instead of filling it with noise? The silence is the enemy of the system. The system cannot survive your attention turned inward, because inward, you will find something the system has worked very hard to hide. You will find yourself, the real you, the one who existed before the programming, the one who knew what they wanted before they were told what to want, the one who was not afraid. That self is not gone. That self is buried, under years of conditioning, under the weight of fear, under the seduction of easy. But buried is not dead, and buried things can be unearthed. Pattern interrupt. You are not broken. You are buried, and you have the shovel. Here is what the system does not want you to know. You are stronger than you think, not because you have proven it, Because you have survived. Every day, in a system designed to weaken you. You have kept going when stopping would have been easier. You have held onto a spark of something. A sense that this cannot be all there is. That spark is not crazy. That spark is the truth. And the system has been trying to extinguish it your whole life. Do not let it. The system wants you weak because weak is profitable. Weak is controllable. Weak does not build empires, write manifestos, or change the world. But you are not here to be profitable. You are not here to be controllable. You are here to become, to grow, to expand, to push against the walls until the walls give way. The walls are not made of stone. They are made of your own conditioned beliefs. And beliefs can be changed. Start with one belief. One limit you have accepted as true. I am not smart enough. I am not disciplined enough. I am not lucky enough. I am not young enough. I am not rich enough. Ask, who told me that? What did I decide this was true? What evidence do I actually have? Most of your limits have no evidence. They have repetition. You have heard them so many times you stop questioning. But repetition is not truth. Repetition is just noise. Turn off the noise. Sit in the silence. Listen for the voice that is not the system. The voice that says, I can, I will, I am. That voice is quiet. The system has been shouting over it for years. But the voice is still there, and it is waiting for you to listen. Napoleon Hill wrote about definiteness of purpose. A goal so clear, so compelling, that it burns through doubt. A goal that is yours. Not borrowed. Not suggested. Not sold. You do not have that goal. Not because you cannot. Because the system has convinced you that your desires are not important. That your dreams are impractical. That your purpose is to consume, not to create. The system is lying. Your desires are important. Your dreams are the only things that are real. Your purpose is not to consume. Your purpose is to become. Become what? Become who? That is for you to decide. Not the algorithm. Not the news. Not the expectations of people who do not live your life. Decide today. Not tomorrow. Not when you have more information. You have enough information. You have always had enough information. What you do not have is permission. Give yourself permission. To want. To dream. To try. To fail. To try again. To become. The system will not give you permission. The system does not want you to try. The system wants you to stay weak. To stay small. To stay scared. Do not stay. The system is powerful, but you are more powerful. Not because you are special. Because you are human. And humans were not designed for cages. Humans were designed to expand. To explore. To create. To become. You have forgotten. The system helped you forget. But forgetting is not permanent. Remembering is a choice. And you can choose it now. Remember who you were before they told you who to be. Remember what you wanted before they told you what to want. Remember that the cage was never locked. You just stop trying the door. Try the door. Push. It opens. The system wants you weak. But the system does not get to decide. You do. Decide to be strong. Not because it is easy. Because it is the only way to be free. The strength is already in you. It has always been in you. You just buried it. Under comfort. Under fear. Under the lies you were told. Unbury it. Stand up. Walk out. The system will not miss you. It will replace you with another sleeper. But you will miss you. The you could have been. The you you're meant to be. Do not miss yourself. Wake up. Be strong. Not for anyone else. For the person in the mirror who has been waiting a very long time for you to choose them. Choose them now.